Hello everybody, welcome back to the channel. Look, the market for jobs at the minute is absolutely insane. If we have a look at the numbers coming out of March, obviously last month, we saw layoffs absolutely surging to their highest level since the pandemic. Over 275,000 people lost their jobs. Now, as we know, the majority of these layoffs came from the federal government, and this actually accounts for 216,000 federal employees and layoffs and contractors. However, tech has also been heavily hit. When we have a look at this graph, you can see everything that you need to know about this story. Some of the world's largest tech companies laying off staff at really immense rates. Just look at some of these recent brands that we've seen, right? Microsoft, we've seen so many brands laying off members of staff, HP, the Block, the list just goes on. So many companies are cutting their staff. And again, it's really sending things in a very interesting trend. At the minute, tech hiring is absolutely stalling, and there's a number of reasons for this. A big one is, of course, the tariffs, as you might expect, and the economic uncertainty that comes with that. But then we also can't understate the effects of AI and AI hype. And we're going to speak about this in a minute because some of the biggest companies in the world are absolutely changing the way that they do things because of this. But the figures really are quite crazy. It's pretty much gone, the optimism in the jobs market. And like I say, as you can see, the number of people who are unemployed, the number of specifically people who are unemployed in tech is slightly higher than the average. And whilst we're seeing a consistent downturn in the tech labour market, leaders continue to manage continued concerns over economic instability. It really is a difficult time for these companies, it's some of them at least, and it certainly is a difficult time for people in this sector. Now, one company which is actually speaking about this in more and more certain terms is Amazon. We've heard Amazon recently speaking about the fact that they want to cut back on their middle management, which is quite a bold stance to take, really, if you think about it. You know, a company like Amazon saying that they're going to let go a significant amount of middle management potentially to streamline the business. It's scary times. It really is scary times. And do bear in mind that Amazon, a lot of stuff is already done very efficiently anyway. It's a very efficient company. A lot of stuff is automated, controlled by robots, AI. To hear that they're cutting back potentially more staff, or the fact that they're going for this approach, is really interesting. And again, Amazon's CEO has recently been putting increasing pressure on employees as they rethink, reimagine their work culture. Again, it seems to be really stressful for a lot of these employees. There's the potential of layoffs, so many different challenges. And during an initial company meeting last month, Jesse emphasized his goal of eliminating bureaucracy in Amazon's work culture. And again, that's where they talk about the management potentially being laid off. So he said that leaders need to get most done with the least resources required to do the job. He also stated that every new product shouldn't take 50 or more employees to do it. Project, I should say, every new project. The way ahead for Amazon is not to accumulate giant teams and fire them. There's no award for winning having a big team. We want to be scrapey about it, and they want to do things essentially quite proper. They're looking to really change the work culture, and it's really quite crazy, right? So he's also urging employees to move fast and act like owners. At the same time, some of the company's competition is working 7 days a week, 15 hours a day. And I was just reading this and I was, trying not to almost laugh because the expectations that these businesses have now, obviously, it is a very difficult time for a lot of these tech companies. The market's shifting. The wealth in these companies isn't perhaps what it was, and neither is the demand what it was 2, 3, 4, 5 years ago. At the same time, is it really reasonable for employees to work 7 days a week, 15 hours a day? It doesn't sound very reasonable to me. However, when you contemplate it, right, people need to live somehow. Then you combine this with this data, it really is a bit of a nightmare for tech employees. You can't exactly move over to a less stressful, potentially better paying job. Those options just aren't there in today's market. So it really is worrying. It really is worrying to see what's going on in the tech space. But this is the latest. Again, Amazon given seriously a very, very heavy and a very, very strong approach, essentially pressurizing employees to up their game. So the CEO said that his goal is for Amazon to operate like the world's largest startup. We have a disproportionate need for builders. There are investors, there are people constantly dissenting, customer experiences. Everyone seems to be pretty good today, and we're asking why can't they be better? I mean, it's a really interesting conversation, this, the way that these companies are moving. Is it reasonable for businesses to expect this from their employees, or do you think it is too much? One thing's for certain, the market is very, very shaky at the minute, and the future, the stability in the future, does remain to be seen. Let me know your thoughts down below, guys. Thank you for watching, and I hope I'll see you again soon. Goodbye.